Hi there, how you doing? I'd be in your sister's film, by the way, Cassius, if you're still interested. So I recently turned 26. I know what you're thinking. What is his skincare routine? I was actually breastfed into my early teens, which keeps everything really rather supple. My skin, not my mother's breasts. You're thinking about my mother's breasts now, aren't you? You sick individual. I'll buy you a drink later. But yeah, I turned 26 and it scared me. And I know that seems odd because it's not really a big one, is it, 26? It's not like your 16th when your dad first takes you to a brothel. Or your 21st when a white man with dreads called Leaf blows cocaine up your arse as it puckers away. Nothing really changes at 26, bar the fact you can rent a car abroad more affordably. But the reason 26 scares me is because I'm 1 year closer to 27. Does everyone know about the 27 Club? You heard of it? Yeah. Edgy crowd in tonight. Love it. So the 27 Club, essentially all these greats died at 27. Or before, I'm not even sure now. But Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, big people like that. Jimi Hendrix, Charlie Dryden. Failed actor, unknown comedian. Cause of death, beaten to a pulp by a man in Stockwell who commented on his mother's breasts. You sick individual. But yeah, 26, and the reason it came up for me was also because I've got my 10-year school reunion. Yeah? 10 years since I was at school. 10 years since Barnaby Towers gave me a rather firm hand job in the showers. It's amazing how time flies. We can never really look at each other in the eye, Barnaby. But you're doing something to me tonight. I don't know what it is, but it's taking me over. But basically, what was going on was I was like, we've got to go to this. We've got to go to this 10-year reunion. It'd be good fun. And Barnaby said to me, Barnaby said to he said to me, no, we're not going to go to that. The only people who would be at that are Snail Boy and the various gingers of the year group. I said, hang on. That's discriminatory towards snails, okay? And I was in all my classes with Snail Boy, okay? Because I wasn't very intelligent, truth be told. In fact, I was in the lowest sets for everything at school. Except from drama, but that's a different story. My parents always knew. But I was in the lowest sets for everything, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, this guy with this voice, he must be a genius and possibly a massive twat. Well, I'm not a genius, I'll say that. But at school, how they decided you were intelligent was they put you in mountain groups. So there was Mount Everest in the Himalayas, there was Aconcagua, I don't know where that one was, Kilimanjaro, Plains of Africa. Do you know where I was? Do you know which mountain I was in? Ben Nevis. In Scotland. Ben Nevis. Not the tallest poppy, that would be said. In fact, we were so poorly behaved at school that they would take us out for anything big. So you'll know about this. Anything that was going on big at school, like Ofsted, off. We weren't there. No chance. Last day of school, we weren't there. We were taken off to an activity centre to swim and bowl, which not many of us really swam unattended anyway. But the thing was, we were taken away, and I would get so frustrated with this. You know, I'd try and start a revolution with them. I'd go, do you not see what they're trying to do here? And starting a revolution with Snail Boy and Smelly Adam is not really the way to do it. It's a bit like Boris Johnson trying to start something in a workers' union. It just doesn't really work at all. So no, I suppose I won't be in the 27 Club. But maybe that's not the worst thing. Thank you very much. I've been Charlie Dryden.
All right, good evening. Nice to be here. So I've had a hard life. I grew up in the ghetto on the streets of Wales. Yeah, it's tough. So I grew up Welsh and Indian, which made me a racist wet dream. Seriously though, I experienced racism very young, and when you're that age, like, it affects you quite a lot. You know, it affects your psyche. I'd ask my parents, why would someone say those things? And they didn't have answers for me. And one of the worst things I experienced is someone called me a Chinese bastard. And it fucked with me so much. I had to have therapy for years. I'm still in therapy. I asked my parents, why would they say that? And they had no answers for me. But I think, racism, like any art form, does have virtuosos and masters of the craft. Donald Trump, for example, awful man, but brilliant racist. Got to hand it to him. The guy, when he called COVID the Kung Flu, that's good. Come on, that's good stuff. But no, I love being Indian. I do. There's loads of great things about it. For example, white guilt. Any sufferers in tonight? Yes. Yeah, you, ma'am. You look like you have a touch of the white guilt about you. Yeah. So, like, for example, if you buy a piece of clothing and it says "Made in India" on it, you feel a bit awkward, or does that affect you at all? You feel like maybe they think someone didn't get paid properly for that? Nothing. Was that? In fact, I'm actually probably buying this T-shirt is probably giving my cousin a job, so it's all good. So I'm a comedian, but in my spare time, I'm a doctor. I'm an anaesthetist. We get to give people drugs legally, so it does attract a slightly stranger doctor, as you can tell. But I mostly do it now for the stand-up material. I remember because it just writes itself really when you're in hospital. I remember one of my first consultants, one of my first bosses was a German man. He was in his 60s. He didn't really care what people thought anymore. He was quite eccentric. One day we're putting a patient to sleep. He puts a gas mask on the patient. And just as the patient's about to go to sleep, he says, "Well, this isn't the first time someone's been gassed by a German, yeah?" I think, fuck, this patient's going to jump off the table, break his hip, get him off to sleep as quick as I can. The last words he hears as he goes off to sleep are, "This is what they gave Michael Jackson, yeah?" So that's why I do it. I remember my first job growing up in Wales. My first job as the intensive care registrar in Swansea. A lot of good disease in Swansea. It's 4 a.m. and the emergency buzzer goes off. Rush down to the emergency department. I'm faced with a half-naked man covered in tattoos, unconscious. There's CPR ongoing. Oh, what could it be? A pulmonary embolism. Brainstem hemorrhage. Then I see his pupils, they pinpoint. Oh, it's a heroin overdose. So I give him the antidote, and just like Lazarus, he sits up, starts breathing again. I thought, wow, shit, I've saved his life. It's like, this guy might, turn his life around, get clean. So he looks at me deep into my eyes, I can see the gratitude. And he says, "What the fuck are you looking at, butt? Where's my tenner? I had a tenner in my pocket, you cunt! Where's my fucking jacket, butt?" "Sir, we have not taken your money or your clothes. We have just saved your life after a drug overdose." "Oh, fucking la-di-da, butt! The only thing you saved is your fucking lunch money. This is bullshit, I'm leaving." "Sir, you cannot leave. We have to monitor you for at least 24 hours. "Oh, monitor this!" "Sir, if you try to leave, we'll get security to restrain you." "Oh, this is bullshit. And if I can't leave, then I'm having a wank." "Sir, you cannot masturbate on NHS Trust property." "Bullshit, if I can't, I'm having a wank." And so he started to have a wank. But what he doesn't know is that the antidote is very short acting. And as he made himself happy, he slowly stopped breathing again. Then I was faced with an ethical dilemma. I don't want him to die, But I don't want him to jack off in the emergency department. The nurses have enough on their plate. So, I reflect on the Hippocratic Oath. First help or do no harm. But I don't think Hippocrates had to deal with wanking Welsh smackheads. Instead, I look to the teachings of Dr. Gregory House, the medical maverick, and I dilute the antidote just the right amount and give him an infusion just enough so that he breathes but doesn't wank. That's the sweet spot.
Hello, hello. So lately I've been thinking a lot about things that we get from our parents. And I know Karl Marx, but I don't think all of it's fair. Like, I know, all posh people do get the same face of a horse. But they do also get a horse. Whereas I feel like all I got was eyes so dry that for the past 2 weeks they've had to have their own little lube. And chronic back pain from decades of intergenerational trauma. And I'm just not sure that's fair. It's okay, guys. I have seen Succession. I do know posh people have intergenerational trauma too. But growing up, I think my dad was always a little bit gutted that I didn't inherit his love of the great game, football, because for him, if I have to be a lesbian, I should have the decency to be one of the sporty ones. But I just never got it. Every week I'd sit there and watch as he shouted at the TV, calling instructions at the ref, who absolutely could not hear him, by the way. And the closest I ever came to acting like that was watching Grand Designs. And rooting for bankruptcy and divorce. So you can only imagine my shock last summer when I discovered that the thing that was preventing me from acting like my dad when the football was on wasn't actually my inherent moral superiority. It was the gender of the players. Did anyone watch the Women's World Cup? Or as I like to call it, the World Cup. And that's feminism. I cried when the Lionesses lost. I'm not proud of that for a whole host of reasons, but the top one being my family history is majority Irish and a little bit Yemeni. So I was sat there cheering on our colonisers. I could feel my ancestors turning in their graves every time I sat there shouting, England, dressed up like I was on my way to an EDL rally. So I'm kind of glad they lost, because I'm not too sure how far that would have gone. I think if they'd won, I'd have been down there protecting that cenotaph, shouting, where's your fucking poppy? You can chart that up to jokes written before the last week. In case anyone was wondering. Anyway, I've always been a big fan of women's participation in elite sport. It's actually how I came out to my mum. Me and my mum have quite a good relationship, but she has the kind of general level of attentiveness that led to me getting Harry Potter ones every year for Christmas until I turned 24. So by women's participation in elite sports, I do of course mean I watched the women on Strictly a little bit too intently from an early age. So to set the scene, what happened was I was back from my first term at uni and sat watching Strictly with my mother. And Gemma off of Hollyoaks had just done a rumba that I found particularly sensual. My eyes glued to the screen. The penny drops. The conversation goes something like this. Sam? Yes? Do you ever think you could, get jiggly with a woman? Panic sets in, a term full of my best attempts to get jiggly flashed before my very eyes. Yeah, Mum. I think I could get jiggly with a woman. Like Paxman, got a follow-up ready. But not with a man. Unusually perceptive. No, Mum, not with a man. And then my mother, Mum to 3, loving wife of my father of over 30 years, says something that will stick with me until my dying day. She said, "Yeah, I suppose we all feel like that." So yeah, like I say, isn't it funny what we get from our parents?
Hello, everybody. So I think we can all agree in this room today that Leonardo da Vinci was a lazy piece of shit, all right? Because I had heard that he invented all these marvellous things like the helicopter and the tank. But what I didn't get told, that he just sort of drawn pictures of this shit and just been like, that's enough, all right? If I came here today with a drawing of a picture of hover boots that I'd made, and I said, I've created a pair of hover boots, you'd probably go, well, do they fly? And I'd say, look at the picture, they're flying. But I doubt I'll get into a museum with that shit anytime soon, you know? But no, it'd be tough to invent stuff, to give credit to him, you know? I think if you chucked me into a room full of raw materials and said, you've got 4 hours, fucking go ahead, all right? I could bring you a stick for hitting, a stick for poking, and my favourite of all the sticks, the proto-dildo, okay? It hasn't got on switch, but I've come up with a method. 8 cups of coffee immediately, and you're ready to go. All right. No, I think it'd be tough to invent something. I reckon that if any one of you was fucking blast back, right, in a time machine all the way back to the past, 1600 BC, right, let's say Celtic era Britain, very long time ago, and you appear in some village, and the tribe leader comes up to you. Might look a lot like this gentleman here. He comes up to you and he says, "Future man, you have 3 days to bring me an invention, okay, from the future, okay? And if you can't do that, we're going to bludgeon you and we're going to fucking eat you." You'd be shit scared. You'd be shit scared. Day one, you'd be walking around going, "Oh, fuck me, I've got to come up with something here. I must have something in the tank." Dragon's Den. What we got? We got the Trunky. We got the Sponge Daddy. We got reggae sauce. Put a little bit of music inside your food. But the first two are made out of polymers. The first two are made out of polymers, and the last one's made by some fucking lyricist Jamaican guy, and you have to invent a fucking Jamaican to invent the bloody sauce. You can't do that, and you're thinking, this is stressing me out. This is stressing me out, but I'm in the past, okay? So why don't I just fucking enjoy myself? I'll enjoy the evening. So, you know, you get yourself a glass of the finest ancient ale, delightful, and you look across the sunset and the untouched majesty of the land, and you look to your left and there's a fucking public hanging going on there. And you're thinking, okay, shit, you know, I would say a stoning, but I just feel that hangings are more of an evening activity, you might say. That didn't work on my brother either, but anyway. Anyway, so that's day one squandered. Day two rolls around, all right? You wake up peppy, but you realise that people don't really get you, so you're kicking dust up around, you're chucking out a few bazingas. Bazinga, because they haven't seen Big Bang Theory, all right? So they don't know. They just think you're fucking hysterical. So that's that. But in the evening comes around, day two, the evening, and you think, good crikey, I've got to come up with something. So you skulk around all the tents in the village at night, and you see what they've got, and you see, fuck, shit, they've already got farming. Fuck, shit, they've already got a bow and arrow, all right? And then you look into one tent and you see inspiration, a pestle and mortar. Okay, so you run into that tent, you snatch that shit, and you run out into the village centre and you go, Bazinga, Bazinga, I've got it! Bazinga, everything's going up Millhouse, Bazinga. You say, Amel Guide, get out here, leader. He comes out, you say, I want your strongest hunters and gatherers off to the woods. I want nuts. I want leaves and shit. And I want, what was the other bloody word? Salt. So you say, all right, be back tomorrow and I'll make you this fucking invention, okay? So they wander off to the hills, you get a good night's sleep, wake up early, hit the stoning. You're getting into them a little bit now, so and the riders come over the hill with all the stuff, and they say, Oscar, we've got your shit, and you go, just give me 5, because this is actually about to get really good, so just give me a sec, all right? And then they go, no. So you take that shit off of him, and you go up to Amelguide's tent, and you go, Amelguide, welcome to the future. So you fucking grind that shit up in your pestle and mortar, and you say, Amelguide, I'm going to make you so proud. And you say, Amelguide, the future's going to be different now. Amelguide, welcome to the future. And he takes the bowl off your hands, and he wipes his finger around the side of the bowl, and he looks at it, and he tastes it, and he says, oh, this is pesto. And that's my story about Leonardo da Vinci or something. Anyway. There you go. Have a good evening, guys.
Fun fact. Every time a bisexual woman eats pussy, she has to cut her fringe a little bit shorter. It's true, you know. There's actually an easy way to remember this, which is the more you scissor, the more you snap. You're welcome. Some of you might have noticed that I have quite an exotic accent. You've probably guessed between 2. So what I'll do before I tell some jokes is teach you guys how to tell the difference between an Australian accent and a New Zealand accent. Okay, so a New Zealand accent is very flat, okay? So it's like New Zealand, right? An A is an E, an E is an I is a U is an O, and an O is an R. You got primary school stuff, right? It's very flat, okay, New Zealand. Now, an Australian accent, you can always hear and it doesn't matter like the sentence or the word that you say, you can always hear the racism just right there at the end. So, I'm from New Zealand. I was actually recently back in New Zealand. I was there to introduce my new boyfriend to my family. Oh, thank you. I was concerned about 2 things. I hate doing this, but I was concerned about 2 things. The first thing I was concerned about was that my family were going to compare my boyfriend and my dad. There's a reason, okay? There's a reason. And that's because my boyfriend is English and my dad is also a cunt. Maybe there'll be a comparison. The second reason is that my family are quite intimidating. Like, okay, I'll give you some background. So I was raised by quite a large community of women, and they're the sort of women who, they're really like passionate about, what's the word? You know, like, sorry, like, you know, like, oh, sorry, carpentry. Really passionate about carpentry. You know, the kind that like none of them have been in a punk band, but all of them have at least 2 pairs of Doc Martens and a leather jacket. What I'm trying to say, if you don't know by now, is that my household made up about like 65% of the local softball team. So I was raised by dykes, which is amazing, thank you. But they accepted him. They accepted the boyfriend, which is such a relief, because recently I've been trying to trick him into putting a baby in me. Anyone else? No? How old are you? 27. 20, okay, yeah, all right. Not yet. Not yet. I'm 34. Okay, I want a baby so bad. Unfortunately, my boyfriend has zero interest in fucking me. Hence all the recent haircuts. No. Speaking of guys who refuse to fuck me, my brother recently was... No. Guys, calm down. I would never fuck my brother. That's disgusting. He's so poor. No. My brother, what I was going to say. My brother recently was diagnosed with bowel cancer. So he has a stoma bag. But why I feel really bad for him is that even after all of his surgeries and his treatments, he still doesn't have a personality. It's fucking tragic. Oh my god. No, I'm sorry. I should say before I go that he is in remission. All right. Thank you. He's been in remission for a long time now. Actually, remission. It's a weird name for a hospice, isn't it? All right, I won't leave you with that. I'll just quickly say before I go, more minge, less fringe. Thank you.
Hello. Nice to meet you all. My name is Liban, which unfortunately for me rhymes perfectly with Taliban. It's not been a problem recently, but you can imagine it was a tricky situation when I started a brand new school in September of 2001. Turns out the boys of Brentside Secondary School were really good at poetry. So I had some really good news about 4 weeks ago that I'd like to share with you guys. Would you like to hear it? Yes! For the first time in my 37 years, I am about to become a father. I don't know why you're clapping, because I haven't decided if I'm going to stay and raise this child. We often talk about white privilege, white male privilege. We don't often talk about black male privilege, which is that nobody expects us to hang around and raise our children. I'm sorry, but it's true. If the expectations of a mum are up here, and the expectations of a dad are here, the expectations of a black dad are somewhere down in Australia, where my dad disappeared to a long time ago. This is a joke. I have to kind of look around and make sure people are laughing for the right reasons. I might have to talk to some of you afterwards. So the way that I found out, well, before I get to that, actually, I think the whole reason why we struggle with father figures in the black community is because we just didn't have many good examples. When I was growing up, we had the Bill Cosby show. You don't want me to learn anything from that guy. We had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Uncle Phil. We like Uncle Phil. He's an inspirational figure. Definitely inspired my figure. But at the end of the day, he's an uncle. He's not a dad. Come on. We fast forward to today, who have we got? We've got middle-aged black dudes, Idris Elba, Jamie Foxx, Denzel. They're not really father figures, they're daddies. That's like, give it to me, daddy, yeah. So no, it's still, we're not quite there yet, but one day soon I hope we will. So the way that my fiance told me was rather weird, because she knows I'm a liar. I'm not an honest person. So she wanted to tell me in a way that she would get an authentic reaction. So she comes in Sunday morning when I'm asleep, lays down on the bed next to me and says, honey, wake up. I got to tell you something. Now, usually when I'm waking up, my brain is like a 56K modem. It's like, but that day, my friend, my brain was like a 1 gig fiber connection directly into my brain, because I was like, what the fuck? Why is she waking me up? What is this? First thought, does she want to break up with me? No, she loves me too much, the silly mug. What else does she? Oh no, she wants an open relationship. No, that's impossible. She knows I'm a bit fruity. I'd get way more dick than her. No chance. She can't handle that. Her pride could never handle that. So I'm like, okay, oh God, this bitch is pregnant. She's fucking pregnant. Okay, time to put on acting mode. I open my eyes and I'm like, honey, what's up? What's going on? And she says, I took 3 pregnancy tests this morning. All 3 of them say that we're going to have a child. And inside, I'm screaming, no! I'm just a boy. I haven't even done my GCSEs yet. I've got so much to live for. But in person, I look at her and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy, baby. I'm so happy. It's fantastic. We're gonna be parents. And she bought it, and she doesn't know I'm still considering what to do. I'll leave you with this. I've already lied to you. I told you I'm a liar, and I've lied a bit already because I do have experience parenting. When I met my fiancée, she had a lovely 5-year-old boy. We've been together 3 years, so he's 8 now. We have a lovely relationship. He came home a few weeks ago, and he said, well, if it isn't my favorite stepdad, which melted my heart. It was so sweet. And I said, well, if it isn't... Fuck, what's your name? Who are you again? Okay, thank you very much. I'm Liv. Have a good evening.
Hello. Or as Snow White used to say, hello, bless you. Oh, God, okay. So, brilliant. So my name's Ali G, so let's address that straight away. You're probably looking at me, the disappointments are rolling off you. I feel it. That's okay. I feel it. Or you're thinking, shit the bed. He's seen better days. And it's true. Yes, I am quite old. So we've got lots of little baby boomers, little Gen Zs, and any other boomers here tonight? Apart from Walter White, who I brought with me. Hey, Daddy. That's going to be fun. So, and I'm not doing this midlife crisis comedy thing, and I mean, let's kid it. Who am I kidding? Yeah, midlife crisis. I'm not going to be lived to be 120. Fucking hell. Midlife crisis. No, when I'm not doing this, I'm a teacher. Okay? Yeah, it's great. Fucking love it. Anyone got kids in school? Anyone got kids not in school? If a teacher ever tells you they don't have favourites, they're fucking lying. We're just like parents in that way. we have our favourites. Sorry, daughter. So I'm. Don't worry about it. We will have some ground rules. I mean, it's no shouting out, hands up only. And if you can't behave yourselves on the back row, I will have you down here. There's a spare seat at the front. All right. Just saying. I'm a shit teacher, so there's nothing to worry about. And I brought you proof. It's in my bra. Yeah, I'm not a very good teacher. I studied art therapist. Yeah, so good luck to you. Yeah. I brought you this. It's a photocopy of something that was left on my keyboard for me. It says, and if you can't read it at the back, it says, "You're a daft, smelly rat, you fat, overweight cunt." I know. Bless their little hearts. Oh, you recognise your handwriting, don't you? What a twat. So, you are is a contraction of, your is a contraction of the words you are, YOU''RE. And fat, overweight, I mean, that's a bit of a tautology, no? Yeah, so you can see that I'm clearly a rubbish teacher. And then the daft little scrote, the brazen little scrote, signed it. from. I'm not going to tell you it's from. So anyway, yeah, shit teacher. An old shit teacher. The more I do this, actually, the more I realise what a sweary old cunt I am. I just get up here for an excuse to have a good swear. So my Antipodean cousins will understand, my Kiwi friend and my Australian friend, you will know, we don't use the word cunt here properly. We don't give it the respect it deserves. In Australia, down south, or in New Zealand, we would use it the way it's supposed to be. Like, Damo, you good cunt, come on in here, have a beer. Yeah, so we just don't, it's an amazing piece of equipment. It is an amazing, with some outstanding features. If they can find them. Right, girls? Oh, dear, yeah. Yeah, fantastic. I'd love a bit of swearing. In my notes, actually, that auto-corrected to sweaty old cunt. So I really... all my apologies to the front row. Autocorrect is a bit of a ball ache, isn't it? Don't you think? Autocorrect? Yeah, I mean, has anyone ever written ducking? Yeah, no. As a matter of fact, don't you think she's quite witchy? She deserves a dolly good ducking. No, we just don't do it. Yeah. In fact, yesterday I typed in absolute fucking cunty bastard racist and it autocorrected to Tommy Robinson. Yeah, so maybe autocorrect's not all bad. Oh, right. So where else were we going with this? Third stage of menopause. What? Right, no. Sorry. I love doing this. It's like I said, it's lovely to get up here on the comedy horse, and it's not unlike the pantomime horse, if you will, but except on this occasion, the arsehole's at the front. Thank you, guys.
Hello, yes, hello. So apart from Heather, do we have any other stoners in the house? There we go, my people, yeah. Well, I've been unemployed for about a month now, and my weed use has gone through the roof, you guys. I am smoking it, eating it, vaping it. I'm gonna start boofing it soon. Honestly, you guys, I think sometimes I think about like how much THC I must have in my blood, and I think I must have turned into a vampire edible. This is premium THC blood. This is the kind of blood that will make Count Dracula lose count. Strong stuff, really strong stuff. But yeah, I really do like vampires. I used to watch a lot of Vampire Diaries. Anyone watch that show? You watch it? Team Damon, Team Stefan, what are we thinking? Damon, of course, yes. That man almost turned me gay. Anyway. But yeah, I do love, but I don't really get why they're obsessed with virgin blood, you know? They're always after the purest blood. I wouldn't. If I turned into a vampire, I would look for the most dirty blood, you know? I'd go pick up, like, I don't know, Snoop Dogg. He's full of fucking weed. I'd go back to the Soviet Olympics team and make a cocktail out of them. That would be a finest one, yeah. But no, I'm looking forward to the number one motherfucker with spiked blood content. I'm talking about Jesus Christ. That's right. Motherfuckers got wine for blood, you guys. It's like 2,000-year-old wine. What's this, like 20% but alcohol concentration? Is he gonna come back drunk? I don't know what's gonna happen. You guys remember that song? Jesus Take the Wheel? That's not a good idea, is it? How about Jesus take a nap? No. This crowd is not receptive to Jesus slander. Fucking hell. All right, well, I see some confused faces. If you're confused about this accent, this is what Aladdin was supposed to sound like. That's it, yeah. Middle Eastern. I grew up in a small, quiet, uneventful country in the Middle East. It's called Iraq. Anyone know where the capital city of Iraq is? No one? That's the one, Baghdad, yes. I was born and raised in Baghdad. And speaking of daddies, I'm a Baghdadi. That's right, yeah. No, a sugar daddy. It's just a bag. What's in the bag? We'll find out. Anyway. Be careful. But yeah, it's a weird country to be from because it's a country full of history, and it's one of those countries that has cycled through so many empires. It's going to the point where every time an Iraqi is born, they come out looking like an ethnic pick and mix. This confusing mess. What do I have here? Got the skin of a white man, hair of a Colombian drug lord, accent of a Saudi pilot. That's the problem. It's the fucking accent, you know? That's how you go from ambiguous to suspicious. Hispanic to panic. Yeah, that's how you get that it factor. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about the it and see it, say it, so it. That's the one. Watch out, yeah, watch out. Just a good old-fashioned unattended bag daddy. That's the one, yep. But yeah, what else can I talk to you from about Iraq? I actually had my aunt, she called me recently and she was like, oh my God, I heard like it's really dangerous for you there. Can you do you want to come over to Iraq and, it's a lot safer back there. I'm like, holy shit, the world is turned around now. I have to seek refuge in Iraq from the UK just to be safe. Fucking hell, what kind of world do we live in right now? But no, I grew up in Iraq in the 90s, and we used to watch a lot of Hollywood movies. But because we lived under a dictatorship, they were censored for various reasons. For example, in Islam, it's forbidden to claim that you can see the dead. So when I watched The Sixth Sense, it just didn't make any sense. What the fuck is happening? They got rid of the word dead. Now it's just a child walking around going, I see people. Just a movie about a child with good eyesight? What the fuck is happening? I never found out what The Sixth Sense is. No. But no, I'm going to leave you guys, because we dubbed a lot of movies, and I'm going to leave you guys with my favorite one-liner from the Iraqi Terminator. It's when he goes, hasta la vista, habibi. Thank you very much. Cheers.
All right, so much like Cassius, I met my boyfriend on Tinder. And much like a lot of people on Tinder, I struggle with commitment. There's just not a lot of things that are that good, to be honest. But I have been vegetarian now for 5 years. I do it for the planet, for Sir David Attenborough, Greta Thunberg as well. If there was a London borough of David Attenborough, I would move there in a heartbeat. There'd be animal sanctuaries everywhere, green spaces, allotments for all. Loads of pubs, of course. They're not called Weatherspoons, though. They're called Weathers Fucked. That's where I'd go to drown out my eco-anxiety with a G&T. No ice, though. It's all gone. I do look up to David, much like a fatherly figure. My real dad's all right. He does his best. He lives up in Nottingham and he'll text me and my sister every now and then with a patronising article. Every so often. And he sent one recently that I'm still processing. See what you think. It was an article about the dangers of choking during sex. And if that wasn't bad enough, he added a whole personalised commentary on why we shouldn't do it. The pure shock of reading this took my breath away. And then I got this sudden rush to my head, and honestly, it got me thinking. Yeah, no, sorry, Dad. That train left the station a long time ago. Choke, 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 choke. But it's all good. I've given my boyfriend the health and safety briefing, so it's all in hand. Look, if you're going to do that kind of thing, make sure there's consent on both sides, otherwise it's not cool. I do think there's a lot of shit in this life gets handed to us without much consent. Hen parties are the current bane of my life. I'd rather hang myself with one of those pathetic pink tacky sashes than have to wear another one. Ooh. I just can't stop making jokes. What can I say? I love a good gag! Woo! Back in the room. Yeah, no, look, before I've even arrived at the hen party, I'm pissed off. Like, the naming of them, why are they hen parties for women and stag do's for men? Like, why are we pathetic little squawky birds bred in captivity to lay eggs? Meanwhile, you stags over there, guardians of the forest, swinging your big dicks around, just looking for your next ride. Not cool. So I actually went on a quest to find a more equal naming alternative, and I stumbled across something which blew my little chicken brain. Turns out there is an animal where the female's a hen and the male's a stag. Any guesses? Got 2 legs. Christmassy. It's a turkey! So lads, next time you're out on your stag do, remember, you too are a turkey. Yeah, something else. Really enjoy that section. Something else I never gave consent for is periods. My first period, this is where I like to make eye contact with all the men in the room. My first period was so heavy, it could have covered 5 double-deckers, 3 telephone boxes, the curtains of this room, the seat you're sitting on, and Clifford the big red dog. Clifford was actually white when we met. The timing was also really bad because it was a long coach ride to Germany, a school trip, year 8, and I, for that reason, picked out my most comfy trousers from Tammy Girl, one for the millennials in the room. Just my luck, they were white, so when that red spot started to form, my arse looked like the Japanese flag. It's actually time for a sing-song on that note. Yeah, I'm just going to go fetch Shania from the back. Yes. Thank you. All right, this is for anyone who's ever taken the London Underground. The Lunderground, if you will. Slip inside the Jubilee line. Don't know if you'll find a place to sit. You said you'd never be rude, but you shoved past that dude to get a place to sit. Then you start a conversation in your head. What's that smell? 'Cause the earphones that you bought, they just went dead. Fuck. You're sweating balls, it's summertime in here. It's as hot as your fireplace. Take your look from off my face, 'cause you're not supposed to make eye contact. So Sally, she stands. She's got both her hands on that sticky rail. Yum. Her soul slides away. But don't look at me, stranger. Don't look at me, stranger, or I'll fuck you up.
Thank you very much. So guys, I am in the process of growing out my beard. This is year 25. I was kind of hoping by now, like at the very least, I could grow like the Zayn Malik. It turns out the best I've got is the Arab Michael Cera. The fact that I'm Arab makes it so much worse. Like, how am I an Arab man that can't grow a beard? That's like a Kenyan failing a couch to 5K. So like, I'm stuck with this baby face. I get called cute a lot, which isn't ideal. Like, I was genuinely once told, you're too cute to be straight. And that was by my dad. So, but it is hard for me to identify as a gay Muslim. Because I'm not gay. A lot of people think I'm gay, and like, I get why. I'm smiley. I'm well kept. I'm on Grindr. I was raised Muslim. As I've grown up, I realized a lot of my parents' rules were less about religion and more about just how much money it would cost them. But they always made it like sound religious. Like, I never celebrated Christmas, and every year my dad would be like, Muslims do not celebrate or worship Jesus. And then he found out Easter eggs were £1. And he was like, hallelujah. It's like, Dad, I thought Muslims didn't believe Jesus rose from the dead. And he was like, he can rise as long as the prices don't. A lot of my friends actually aren't Muslim. I'm friends with a lot of what you'd call like geezer type blokes. And believe it or not, they've always been the most respectful of my religious beliefs. Partly because they're stupid. Like, one of my mates thought Mecca was a transformer. But like, they were always nice, like the way they'd invite me down the pub. They'd be like, Illy, mate, we're getting down to watch the footy. Just checking. I know you don't eat it, but can Muslims watch West Ham? My fiance, she's also not Muslim. She's actually Brazilian. And last year we did a little cultural exchange. So I'm Moroccan. She came with me to Morocco. I went with her to Brazil. She got to try couscous for the first time. I got robbed. One thing I did learn in Brazil is that Brazilians are known for stealing shoes. So she loves coming with me to the mosque. To know how mosques work to get that, it's okay. She really liked it in Morocco. Morocco's becoming a really popular like tourist destination. Like, a lot of my English mates are going and they're all coming back saying the same thing, which is like, it was really lovely, but it was a bit of a culture shock, which is the nice way of saying I was fighting for my life. And like, I think the reason people get shocked by Morocco is because they go thinking they're going on like a European trip, and it's really not. Like, Marrakesh isn't Malaga. Like, it doesn't have a beach. It's just kind of blokes in markets. Like, you're not going to the seaside. You're going to see Said. Like, the beaches Morocco does have, like, the sand isn't white, the water's not blue, the sand, water, and people are all brown. Like, in Morocco, you're not really a visitor, you're a victim. And like, as a Moroccan, it's no different for me. Like, last time I was there, I was walking down the street and a guy selling perfume pops out and he was like, my friend. And I was like, no thanks, mate, I'm all right. And he goes, brother, no problem. And then got me anyway. And like, I was wearing Aventus by Creed, I'm now wearing Harassment by Ahmed. My fiance is always trying to, she wants me to teach her Arabic, the Arabic swear words, right? And I struggle to explain to her what they are because they don't translate very well back into English at all. They sound like really extreme. Like, one of the most common swear words you'll hear in Morocco is Allah yahraq jid bebek, and that translates to may God burn your dad's granddad. And somehow that's the entry level. And it's so specific. It's like, not your dad, not his dad. His dad, burn him. My favorite is Allah ya'adin tabbun yimmek, which translates to may God curse the religion of your mother's pussy. So there's a lot to unpack there. With that, I like the idea that your mum and her vagina can have different religions. Like, my mum is Muslim, but her muff is Mormon. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Hello. So we're going to get personal straight out the bat. Hands up if you're in therapy. Don't be shy, okay? Now everyone look at the people with their hands up. They can afford to buy you a drink. They're going to make an order with cinnamon and you're going to have a drink. You just have to listen to their repressed trauma for 5, 10, half an hour, I don't know. However long it is. I can't afford therapy. Pissing me off.
Ask Jude.
My boss, Jude, might give me therapy. Probably not. So I do a thing which has been mentioned. I cut my fringe. It's a cost of living crisis. But now I'm thinking it's because I really like minge. Maybe I need to go to therapy about that. I'm not sure. And I do need to go to therapy because I've been struggling. There's a pizza here. Anyone claim a pizza? Quick! Fucking hell. Sort yourselves out. That was a free pizza, everyone. Honestly, we've got art therapy up there. Hit her up as well. Free. I'm here to give you all the deals you need, okay? Anyway, cost of living crisis. Cut my own fringe. And I've been struggling with my morality. And a big thing was, you know the guy that was going around with a crossbow? Yeah, I know, it's bad to laugh, isn't it? I thought, fucking awful. Obviously, it's awful, violence against women, disgusting, men just need to get in the bin. But then my second thought was, ooh, will that bring the housing prices in that area down? Can I afford to get on the property ladder? Oh! And then back to the morality. And again, unfortunately, it's us women that suffer, but maybe benefit. You don't know? There was a story that came out recently. So I do acting as well. And I got my... Thank you. I got my... Wasn't there a film and TV producer around? Oh, it was short films for your sister. Yeah, okay. Just kidding. I'm sure it's wonderful and she's fabulous and I wish her all the best. What's the short film about? You don't even know, do you? You've just said yes to be kind. That's a good brother. Round of applause for the good brother. Woo! Just don't put all your money in it, okay? Just keep a little back for you. So the guy who filmed showreels, I got my showreel done with this guy. And then I read this horrific story recently that he'd been sending unsolicited dick pics to people that he'd worked with. And obviously my first thought was that's fucking awful. My second thought was, why didn't I get a dick pic? Is it because I cut my own fringe and it makes me ugly? Am I not attractive enough for this? So I've been dealing with that. And a way I've been dealing with that. So I'm from Birmingham. Okay, you know, better than I usually get. If you're from Birmingham, anyone from the Midlands, Birmingham? Wow. Okay, well then I can say all I want about Birmingham. So Brummies love the bees, okay? Benidorm, Butlins. That's all you need to know. Cost of living crisis, it grows through me. And my brother is a bit of a Brummie thug. By that I mean he stole all my clothes and would sell them, you know, like those bag things. He'd take them, sell them. Oh, I lost quite a few good clothes, that's why I'm dressed like this. Just kidding, I look fabulous and I'm aware of it. Thank you! Oh, I wasn't here for the compliments. This is free therapy for me. So, my brother, Brummie Thug, once offered me weed brownies. He did this in front of my mother. She didn't bat an eyelid because the acid in the 90s did her in. Sir? Yeah, he knows. So I took the weed brownies one night, family home, bit bored, took one, nothing happened. 2 hours later, thought, oh, I'll go again. So I took another 2. Nothing happened, genuinely another hour passed, so I did the whole bunch, right? And then I'm about to go to bed to sleep, and I get this uncomfortable feeling, and the feeling is that I'm really horny. Now, you're thinking, not uncomfortable, don't feel it very often, some of you, that's very sad. Talk to the art therapy over there, she'll sort you out. Anyway, the real problem was that all I had to do was think about sex and I could make myself come. Woo! Great for some, but until, 8 hours later when that's still happening, you start feeling a bit rinsed out and worried about what's happening. And my thoughts were, shit, I'm being fucked by God. And then I'm thinking, fuck, I'm not Mary. It's just not working. I can't be Mary. I can't have a baby. And then I'm thinking, no shit, it's the fucking devil, isn't it? I'm a left-hander. I've always been one of his children. I'm being fucked by the devil. And then I remember a story that my brother told me in that childhood bedroom that he once woke up to an old lady, ghost, stroking his leg. And I'm thinking, was it his leg? I'm being fucked by an old lady ghost. Let's bring it back to the fact I cut my own fringe and apparently really like minge. Thank you very much.